In Las Vegas, there's a restaurant where the food comes with a warning. This will kill you. And they're not joking. Most restaurants hide their health risks behind marketing and fine print. Heart Attack Grill does the opposite. They advertise them. And when customers actually die eating here, the owner doesn't remove them from the menu. He keeps their ashes on the wall. This is the story of how a failed health coach built an empire on the opposite of health. Before John Basso owned the most controversial restaurant in America, he was in the weight loss business. He ran a Jenny Craig franchise in Oklahoma, spent years trying to help people get healthy. Meal plans, portion control, the whole system designed around restriction and discipline. But there was a problem that kept him up at night. People lied constantly. They'd come in Monday morning and say they stuck to the meal plan all weekend. Then John would see them on Friday night at a McDonald's drive-thru. They'd promise to be better next week. They never were. He watched the same cycle repeat with hundreds of clients. Sign up, pay the fees, get weighed, commit to the program, go home, eat badly. Come back the next week ashamed. Repeat. John realized something most businesses spend millions trying to hide. People don't actually want what they say they want. Everyone says they want to be healthy, but what they actually want is permission to sin. They want someone to say, "It's okay. You can eat the burger. Enjoy yourself. Live a little." And John was tired of pretending, tired of selling them the lie. So in 2005, John made a decision. He stopped fighting human nature, and he opened a tiny burger joint in downtown Las Vegas. But instead of selling health, he decided to sell honesty. He called it the Heart Attack Grill, and the menu didn't lie. But here's the genius part. Instead of building on shame, making people feel bad about wanting bad food, he flipped it. He made the danger ironic. He made it fun. He dressed the waitresses like nurses, put the customers in hospital gowns, made the whole thing theater. And he added one more thing that would define his entire business model. If you weighed over 350 pounds, you ate for free. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most restaurants try to make their foods sound healthy. Fresh, artisan, locally sourced, farm to table. They're all trying to be the opposite of what they are. John did something different. He made his food sound as dangerous as possible. The menu is a medical textbook of dietary disaster. Single bypass, double bypass, triple, quadruple. They go all the way up to the octuple bypass. The Quadruple Bypass Burger. 8 patties, 40 slices of bacon, 20,000 calories. For context, that's 10 times the recommended daily intake in one meal. The flatliner fries are cooked in pure lard. The milkshakes contain an entire stick of butter mixed in. They sell Lucky Strike cigarettes, unfiltered, right at the counter. The entire menu is designed to shock, to scare, to make you think, wait, am I really going to eat this? And if you didn't finish your burger, you got spanked. Not as a joke, not as a light tap, a real spanking. In front of the entire restaurant. A nurse would walk over with a wooden paddle, the crowd would cheer, and you'd get humiliated. But here's the brilliant part, and John knew this. The second you tell someone they can't do something, they want to do it more. The spanking wasn't punishment, it was a dare. It turned eating into a challenge, into theater, into something to brag about. But the real genius wasn't just the food, it was the entire ecosystem. Hospital gowns instead of normal clothes, mandatory. You change into a surgical gown the moment you arrive. Nurses instead of waitresses, prescriptions instead of orders, patients instead of customers. When customers finished their meal, if they finished, they were wheeled out to their car in a wheelchair by their personal nurse. The entire restaurant was permission wrapped in irony. And psychologically, that's masterful. Because when everything's a joke, when it's all obviously theater, people give themselves permission to participate. They're not really at a place that's going to kill them. They're at a show, a performance, and performances are safe. The media went insane. Health officials called it disgusting. Nutritionists said it was promoting death. Activists protested outside. John's response? He used every single outraged news segment as free advertising. Every protest brought more cameras. Every camera brought more customers. So here's how the economics actually work. Heart Attack Grill is a single location, one restaurant, downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. There's no massive chain, no expansion plan, just one restaurant that became a global icon. Most of their customers? Tourists. People visiting Vegas for the spectacle, for the experience, for the story they can tell back home. And that 350 pounds eats free policy? It's not charity. It's the most profitable marketing expense the restaurant has ever invented. Let's do the math. On average, maybe 5 to 10 customers per day qualify for the free meal. That's roughly $150 to $300 in lost revenue per day. But those 5 customers, they're the show. Think about it. You're a tourist walking down Fremont Street. You walk past and see a 400-pound customer eating for free. What do? You stop. You take a photo. You record a video. You tell your friend, "Dude, you gotta see this." Then you walk in, and you pay full price to be part of the spectacle. The free meals create the theater. The theater attracts the audience. The audience pays premium prices because they're not just buying food, they're buying an experience. A single $400 tourist experience generates maybe $500 to $1,000 in direct revenue, not counting alcohol and extra items. So those $150 to $300 free meals, they generate thousands in paid revenue. But here's the part nobody talks about. When John said the food would kill you, he wasn't exaggerating. And unlike other businesses that hide when something like this happens, he didn't. In March of 2010, Blair River died of pneumonia, likely complicated by his extreme weight. He was the restaurant's spokesman. He was 29 years old. He weighed 575 pounds. Friends said he was more than just the caricature in the advertising. He was a real person. He had a family who loved him. 2 years later, John Alleman, an unofficial spokesman who came to the restaurant every single day, even on Christmas, collapsed at a bus stop in front of the restaurant. He was 52 years old. Heart attack. Unlike Blair River, Alleman wasn't obese. He was a regular guy, weighed about 180 pounds. He just ate at this restaurant constantly. His caricature, Patient John, was plastered on the menu, on merchandise, on clothing. He was the face of the brand. And when he died, his picture was already on display in the restaurant. Most businesses, when something like this happens, they apologize. They change the menu. They rebrand. They distance themselves from the death. John didn't. He put their photos on the wall. He displayed their ashes. He kept their memory on display. He called it proof. Because in John's mind, he wasn't hiding anything. The menu said, "Heart attack." The sign said, "Warning." The entire business was a warning. And that's the uncomfortable truth. He gave people exactly what they wanted, and exactly what he promised. So what's the lesson here? Heart Attack Grill is still open, still profitable, still a Vegas icon. And it works, because John understood something most businesses are too afraid to admit. You don't have to serve everyone. In fact, trying to serve everyone is how most businesses fail. Think about Patagonia. Their founder said, "We don't want to sell to everyone. We only want customers who will cherish this jacket for the next 30 years. Think about Cards Against Humanity. They're not for people who want family-friendly games. They're explicitly not for you if you're easily offended. The companies that win aren't always the ones with the best product. They're the ones that know exactly who they're designed for and who they're willing to lose. John's not serving health-conscious people. He's not even trying. And that clarity, that ruthless focus, is worth millions. Because the moment you try to be everything to everyone, you become nothing to anyone. Now, should you copy this exact strategy? No. There's a moral line. But understand the principle. What you reward is what you get. John rewards eating, massive portions, free meals at 350 pounds, spectacle. The system optimizes for consumption, and the natural consequence is harm. But here's what separates him from everyone else. He's not hiding it. And somehow, that makes all the difference. If you want more stories like this, businesses that change the rules, break the norms, and somehow make it work, hit subscribe. These stories are everywhere. You just gotta know where to look.